The preseason's nearly over, 43 is about to begin, and I am hyped to be back with another season of Survivor. Cocos, Vessies, and Bacas of the world. Internet, my name is Peridiam, and let's rank the cast of S43 based on how well I think they'll do.
Who will have what it takes to outwit, outplay, and outlast all the rest? This is Survivor 43.
Coming in at number 18, I have one word. Gabler. Mike Gabler. It pains my heart to have him this low, but he sticks out like a sore thumb. He's a heart valve specialist from Meridian, Idaho, and he's just a big ol' super fan who's got a love for Rupert, Ben, and I got a suspicion he will go the way of Brad from Survivor 41. Lovable and aloof.
Like I always say, the good friend will stab you in the front, so I hope I'm that good friend that can just, take everybody out one by one with a smile.
Number 17. Speaking of love and life and lots of color, we have Mariah, a 28-year-old teacher from Philly. I found this pretty amusing, but she picked Marianne to win last season while Mariah, was in Fiji getting ready for this season. Mariah relates herself to Kim Spradlin, win everyone over with charm, and she wants to leave every space more colorful than when she found it. No doubt she'll do that, but it might not be for more than a few episodes.
Drop the 3, put a picture of me for season 43.
Number 16. Carla, a 28-year-old educational project manager from Newark, Delaware, the happiest place on earth. Straight up, I can't tell if Carla is going to be a hero or the antagonist with this group. She tells us that she's nosy, she's done dubious things to get by, and she relates herself to Tony and Suri. But then she seems to have a quite caring nature to her. We get a lot of Tony and Suri with this cast, but I think Carla might win over some hearts, but also fall short of winning.
To finally be here at the stand, on my toes, the breeze, the humidity in my hair, I'm living.
Number 15. Neca, a 43-year-old pharmacist from Texas. Neca has claimed to be a bad liar, but she's got a big smile and loves to giggle and laugh. She's a mom. She compares herself to Denise and Suri. She's a recent watcher of Survivor, which might hurt her given how fast the game goes. As long as she keeps giggling, I will be good. I don't have high hopes, but maybe I'll be surprised.
Can get first dibs at the season 43 so Survivor title owner.
Number 14. Ryan, a 25-year-old personal trainer and warehouse associate from El Paso, Texas. Ryan confuses me. He relates himself to Rupert the pirate and Xander the charismatic, and then he wants to play like Parvati. He talks about his favorite moment, which never happened. I think he's thinking of Penner. Ryan has a great backstory and he's gonna have a big heart, but he's reminding me of this kind of player who's more prone to getting blindsided than being the blindsider.
And my heart starts pounding as if I'm in the game when I'm watching it. And it makes me go like, God, Jeff, you little, like, I love him.
Number 13. Noel, a 25-year-old Paralympian from New Hampshire. The second player ever to have one leg next to Kelly Bruno, only Noel's is above the knee, as she points out. Noel is all about her story, how she was into sports and then tragedy struck. She's a fan of Boston Rob and Kelly Wentworth, wants to work with physical players as shields, but I worry that she will be seen as a liability and that her game awareness isn't that strong.
I want people to look at me and be inspired and motivated, and just to be here, it is honestly a dream come true, and I think I'm absolutely gonna win. I'm gonna be the first amputee to ever win the game of Survivor.
Number 12. Bro, it's Cody, a 35-year-old elevator salesman from Honolulu, Hawaii. Cody lives to get radical, has a gnarly mullet, throwback to Shambo, and a tattoo on his butt that says livin'. He loves Tony and Ozzy and Malcolm, and I think that he's gonna have a grand old time if he somehow Fabios his way to the end. He wants to be used as a shield, but I have this feeling that he's just gonna take the bullets in the end. Either way, he's gonna be a character, that's for sure.
I'm gonna play this game as myself. There's relationship building in the front and some wily strategization in the back. Should be sweeping people out of tribal council.
Number 11. Gio, a 36-year-old project manager also from Honolulu. What are the odds? I have Gio somewhere in the middle of my ranking because he burns hot, really hot, and I like that. Modern Survivor demands being active on your feet, but at the same time, I worry that he will go just too fast, too soon. He compares himself to Cochran and Sandra, which is a wild combo, and if nothing else, we are going to be in for a wild ride that could either lead to a flameout or a fun victory.
I want to play the game hard, and I want to play the game until somebody tells me, listen, you're playing too hard. I'd rather like tone it down a little bit than not do enough and then go home having regrets.
Number 10. Sammy, a 19-year-old pet cremator, I guess someone's gotta do it, from Las Vegas. Magician's assistants, eat your heart out. Right off the bat, I gotta say it, he is the youngest in the cast, and that always gives me pause. But Sammy is confident, he's eager, he's admittedly a bit self-righteous, and he compares himself to Chris Underwood. Somehow. And he only got into Survivor after hate watching John Rocker. He then quit once Rocker was voted out. This is a roller coaster. Because he's lacking in life experience, he's big on learning, but you know what they say, there's only two types of people on the island, winners and learners. Sammy, what are you gonna be?
And with Survivor, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna put on the best show that I possibly can. And some would say, I'm not ready for this experience. The game is older than I am, but to those people, I say, watch me work.
Number 9. Cassidy, a 26-year-old designer from Austin. Parvati 13.0. She's a superfan, but seems a bit casual if I'm reading between the lines. She relates to Nick and Christian and Ty, a big lover of animals. She's a free spirit, go with the flow. I like what I'm getting, but I also just can't shake this weird, troubling feeling that she may end up like a random boot in the pre-merge, kind of like, I don't know, Liz from Co Wrong. Just taken out for like whatever reason. She seems quite flexible and adaptable. I have her in the middle, so jury's out.
Like, I really want to play a very social game, but, you know, I'm not afraid to chop the head off the snake when I need to, you know? The fox is out of her den, so I'm ready to get started.
Number 8. Dwight, and not from The Office, a 22-year-old grad student from Tennessee. But you know what? He's the only 8 I see. Dwight is rather mature for his age. He went to Stanford and is a journalist. He's concise, relates himself to Wendell, and I think that he'll be big on the social and strategic game. That said, there's always a caveat. He also thinks that others might see him that way too, which worries me. He almost seemed a little bit too eager to be perceived as a threat. He really wants to find any and every advantage, and hey, Godspeed, Dwight. You may need them.
I want people to think that I didn't sit back and play a scared game. I just wanted people to think that I came out here, put 100% of my energy and effort into this game, and that people can be proud of that.
Number 7. Ellie, a 31-year-old clinical psychologist from Salt Lake City. Another player who wants to take a page out of Cerie's playbook, or Nick. She wants to be underestimated like Nick while building strong relationships like Cerie. Ellie is a self-proclaimed natural leader. People gravitate to her, so is she gonna be leading her tribe? Not off a cliff, right? She might. This cast does have some personalities in it though. She claims to be messy deep down, but organized on the surface, and I wonder if the elements will expose that side of her down the line. Either way, I could definitely see her going far. I'm just a little bit unsure of her win equity.
Survivor's not just a competition, it's a vessel for growth and transformation, and you can't watch that and not be like, I need a little bit of that for me too.
Number 6. Justine, a 29-year-old cybersecurity salesperson from Los Angeles. And going into her bio, I will say Justine will fool you on the surface. She rides dirt bikes and is quite competitive. She too aims to be underestimated and emerge as a dark horse in the end, compares herself to Erica, which is rather apt, and Mike White, just because he was funny, which is a fair point. I fear that she might be one of those players who's a little bit too likable and easily targeted, doesn't have enough social influence. She's not a super fan, but seems to understand how to operate. I have her high, but she's not in my winner circle just yet.
The most fun part is going to be doing the challenges, because I'm just like, oh, I want to do that. I know I would be good at that, but I need to kind of tone that down a little bit and then kind of come out as a dark horse near the end.
Number 5. Janine, a 24-year-old UX designer from San Francisco. Just can't quit these California girls. Similar to Justine, she has a lot of outdoor experience. She's likely going to be underestimated and seems to understand that more than anything, Survivor is a social game. She appears as one of the most self-aware in the cast, interested in others, and on top of all of that, she went to Harvard.
I'm so excited! I can't even tell you. I just feel like I am a little baby seeing the world for the first time.
Number 4. Give me James, a 37-year-old event planner from Philadelphia. Another player from Philly, James is a chess champion from a young age. He's rather strategic in all facets. He can't stop, he won't stop, maybe he doesn't know how to stop. Relates himself to Earl Cole and, wait for it, Suri, which, to be fair, is a good combo. Although with the diminishing returns at this point, it kind of feels like it doesn't really mean anything. He too understands that perception oftentimes dictates reality, and he wants to earn others' trust early so he can spend it towards the end to advance himself. Contrary to my logo, Survivor is not chess, which might prove more difficult for James in front of a jury, but either way, I like what he's giving me.
So I'm just excited to get out there. The more information I get, the more stuff going on, the more variables, the more chaos, the better for me, because I feel like I'm good at those things, and this will prove if I am or I'm not.
Number 3. I wanted to have a top player from each tribe in my top 3, and rounding out the Coco tribe is Lindsay, a 42-year-old pediatric nurse from Pennsylvania. She's got that Philly connection with James. If nothing else, Lindsay is team mom through and through, but is she more Katrina or Chrissy? Because from what she's giving me so far, I'm getting more Chrissy. She's a massive fan, been a fan for a long time, been applying for a long time, likely has a high EQ, she is a nurse, very much aware of what it takes to win, and in modern Survivor, that is key. I've got my eye on her.
When you're at that last mile of a marathon, are you gonna speed up or slow down? So I'm gonna make sure that when I cross that finish line, I'm going as fast as I possibly can.
Number 2. From the Vesey tribe, I've got Jesse, a 30-year-old poli-sci PhD from Durham, North Carolina. And I gotta say, Jesse really impressed me with his short intro package and interviews. He's street smart, was in a gang as a teenager, but also has a PhD where he studied how people vote. He's another big fan of the show, listens to podcasts, may even be watching this video. He has watched Survivor New Zealand. It really is a new era. He relates himself to Jeremy, Tony, and Shan. He is humble, he's intelligent. Is he too big of a threat?
I think in life, I've been incredibly lucky, but I've also been able to turn that luck and do something with it. And so I think that if I see an opportunity out here, if I get lucky out here, I'm gonna know how to go all the way.
Number 1. Yep, I went for broke. You see that massive W? I'm going all in on the Viking man from Tulane. It is Owen, a 30-year-old college admissions director from New Orleans, Nolans. Owen dreams about one day seeing his name in the opening credits. Is anyone gonna tell him? Wait, they actually gave him an opening credit? How is he not the winner? Owen is a super duper fan. He compares himself to Adam. He's got his ear to the ground and a finger on the pulse of the game. His demeanor is not too threatening nor too aloof, and he's a fan of Stacey Powell's rant about Benjamin.
Stay over there, listen to all the Benjamins, Halloween jokes, Chucky the Cheese jokes. Benjamin, let's give a hug. Keep that hug.
But on top of all that, Owen went to my high school. Yup, like two ships sailing in the night. We didn't cross paths, but here we are. It took over a decade, and I've now got my sight on Mr. Knight.
Just being here means so much, and I just want to soak it all in because getting to play the game that I love, it's gonna be amazing no matter what.
And that's it. That is my preseason ranking for the cast of Survivor 43. Let me know your preseason winner pick and overall how you feel about this group. A big thank you to my Viking Overlord patrons. I am excited for another season of Survivor. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to grab your unsmuffed torch on your way out, and I will see you in the next one. Once I get the word dying tattooed on my butt cheek.
I live to get radical. That's also a mantra of mine, to the point where I have it tattooed on my butt cheek.
I said, hold up.
One thing I do as a psychologist is get people to do things that they don't want to do.
Wait a minute, something ain't right.
In the game of Survivor, you will know victory and you will know pain.
Bring it on.